For several days we have seen dramatic films on the internet showing the fight against the new coronavirus in China. And the entire city of Wuhan was subject to absolute quarantine. A special hospital was built on site to look after only those who are infected with this virus. Welcome to the High Fitness by Weakness channel. In this video, I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about coronavirus, what are its symptoms, how to guard against them and how dangerous it is. So stay tuned guys, because in a moment, you will receive a quick dose of incredibly useful knowledge. Currently, 12,000 infections are confirmed worldwide and there are more and more of them every day. The day before there were 10,000, so 2,000 infections a day are growing daily. Almost 300 people have died from this virus infection, which means that the current mortality rate is between 2 to 3%. However, it is worth mentioning that mainly older people are dying, who are also burdened with other serious illnesses. What does infection with such a virus look like? At first, the infection looks the same as a normal upper respiratory infection. There is a sore throat, sneezing, coughing and low-grade fever may appear. The whole disease is limited to these symptoms in young and healthy people. However, others may develop pneumonia. This means that there are auscultatory changes in the X-ray. The patient will suffer from high fever and shortness of breath. The disease becomes really dangerous when severe respiratory distress syndrome develops. This is characterized by hypoxia of the whole organism, which can eventually go into inflammation of the whole organism or sepsis. Then, multiple organ failure occurs, which can even lead to death. How can you get infected? Infection occurs through a droplet route, that is through contact with people who are infected and spread the virus. A person who is sick may sneeze, for example on the hand or on some other person, and we will somehow touch the place where this virus is dissolved in water. Then when we touch the area of our face there, through the continuity of the virus will get into our respiratory tract. The first symptoms usually appear 5 to 9 days after contact with a sick person. However, they can appear even after 14 days. It seems that they also infect people who have not yet developed symptoms. This means that when we have a friend who was in Wuhan, we met him and he only after 4 days begins to sneeze and fever, it is possible that he could also infect us. The World Health Organization reports that you cannot get infected by collecting a package or letter from China. This is mainly about AliExpress. Because the virus survives mainly in living organisms but it dies quickly on various surfaces. No causal treatment of this virus infection is yet known. This means that there are no antiviral drugs or vaccines that work against this virus. Patients who are sick are treated primarily symptomatically. This means that you are waiting for the body to fight the disease by itself. A drip is given to the patient if there is a fever. Antipyretics are given if there is pneumonia. Antibiotics are given before the disease is confirmed. The World Health Organization has also issued a number of recommendations on how to reduce the risk of getting sick. They are very similar to those that can be given to any person who wants to avoid the usual viral infections. The most important is frequent and thorough washing of hands with warm water and soap for at least 20 seconds and disinfection with alcohol if we have the opportunity. Because coronavirus is sensitive to purity preparations and to disinfectants. This is its weak point that should be exploited. In addition, if you have the opportunity, you should avoid large groups of people. It is better to go for a walk in the woods than to the shopping mall. In this way you will reduce the likelihood of infection. And if you are sick, stay home. If we already have symptoms of a cold, we should keep a distance to other people and not expose them to our germs. In this case, we should not sneeze in the hand, only on a handkerchief or elbow, because we do not touch other people with our elbow. If we suspect coronavirus infection, call for help remotely to avoid spreading germs in public. The rest of the orders are devoted primarily to hospitals and to residents of China. For example, avoiding contact with wild animals, because it is not yet known whether through this contact with animals you can become infected with this virus. And finally, the most important thing, when should we start worrying? Are we accidentally infected? An instruction was issued to doctors, which reads as follows. We should suspect coronavirus infection when 2 factors are met. The first is the most important, that is if in the last 14 days the patient has been in China or has had contact with a person who has a suspected or confirmed infection. The second condition is when the patient has upper respiratory tract symptoms. This is primarily a cough, sore throat and fever. Do you have any of these symptoms? Are you worried about coronavirus? Or maybe you think that it will exterminate all humanity? Share a comment. To sum up, if you have a fever and cough and have not been to China for the past 14 days and have not had contact with people who may be infected, you have nothing to fear. And if you care about hygiene and avoid large groups of people, you will minimize your chances of infection. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to receive new extremely helpful health videos every single day. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Have a great day and see you in the next video.